I've been struggling with imposter syndrome really badly for like the last 6 months. And like all creatives really, I've been struggling with imposter syndrome ever since I started picking up a camera, taking photos, shooting videos, and just overall creating content, not just for myself and my own, say, personal brand, but also for the client work that I do as well. And don't get me wrong, I understand that this is just a part of the game. This is like just one of those conditions of entry to being a creative, is that you're just going to suffer from imposter syndromes, and some weeks it's going to be very manageable, it's going to be okay, and you're going to be super confident where it doesn't really bother you. But then you're going to have your days, weeks, and even months where it just cripples you to the point where you have zero confidence, you don't want to pick up a camera, and you just start questioning why you're actually doing this and why you're actually putting yourself through this ordeal. And like I said, for like the last 6 months, I haven't really had any sort of confidence in anything that I've produced. I've been very hesitant in picking up a camera, and the things that I have made, I would just shoot it and just leave it on my SD card or on my hard drive, because I'd instantly get a feeling that it's just not good enough. And what's the point in wasting my time in trying to edit anything if it's just not going to be to the standard that I want to have? On the flip side to that, I'm seeing a lot of sort of content from other creatives, which is very true. Before I actually get into what it is that they're sort of saying, it is very true and it's very, very valid, and it does make a lot of sense. And that is that we all start from somewhere, and it's all going to be shit in the very beginning. It's a matter of just putting it out anyway, just making the thing and doing the thing and publishing it, because you're just sort of getting your reps in. You're gonna get better by just continuously doing the thing, and naturally things will just start to improve when you start building up that confidence, when you start finding a bit more of a style that aligns with you, and then experimenting with new things. You might discover things that you might not have thought of before, but now you're applying it to your current workflow, and it actually works, it connects, and you start producing the work that you are happy with and that you do want to actually share. So as I'm recording this video right now, I'm in London. I'm in my hotel room. I've clamped my camera to the head of the bed with a small rig arm, and I've also then attached a light to the camera with another small rig arm. My set is not perfect the way that I would really love it. I'm actually sitting on my messy bed, as you can sort of see around me. I'm just sitting on a bed. There is a truck outside operating a crane arm to lift a skip bin onto a construction site, so the audio might sound good, but this is the only spot I really have to film in this hotel that's got some form of decent lighting. I haven't really tested it at nighttime, but this is pretty much it. And that alone, these elements of not the perfect set, noise outside, is really bothering me, and it's automatically putting me off from wanting to make this video, which is the wrong attitude to have, but it is the reality of how my head works and the negative self-talk and the doubts that are going on inside my head. I'm honestly just gonna wait for that truck just a little bit to stop, because it sounds like it's really struggling to lift up this bin in the space that it can actually fit in. So I'm actually gonna just take a video on my phone so you can see. And this is, again, another thing that would be bothering me, is that I'm not using a proper camera to film this. I'm using just an iPhone, which is not gonna be the same quality of the R50V. This is just the 13 Pro Max. And it's a bit old, it's a bit weathered, but you know, I don't really want to go get my R5, which is somewhere down there. I want to stay in the same position on my bed. But in saying that, it's also me then trying to overcome that imposter syndrome of perfection and just using a phone to just film what it is that I need to film. So here is my current setup right here. And then as you can see right there, that is where the skip bin is, and the truck right outside the window. And over the last couple months leading up to my trip to London, I've been really honing in on the messaging that I've heard from these other creatives about just recording and just pressing publish, no matter how bad you think that the work is, because that is just the only way that I'm going to build up my confidence and actually build my craft and get better at shooting my photography and also creating videos. And it's also giving me that confidence and that mental fortitude to overcome the negative self-talk and the negative thoughts that I tell myself every single day about what it is that I'm doing. Because I'm not going to make it very far in this career, in this life, in this craft if I keep becoming a victim to those negative self-thoughts and that negative talk. It's just going to make me resent what I'm doing. And my biggest fear is that I'm going to get another 5, 10, 15 years down the road and I'm going to look back and I'm going to have so many regrets because I just couldn't overcome that fear and I couldn't overcome that imposter syndrome to just pick up the friggin' camera, take the photos, record the videos, edit it, and just publish it to share. And not necessarily for the gratification from others, but more so just for myself. All right, that truck is trying again now to move the bin or lift the bin, but it's just making a lot of noise and it's not making a lot of progress. Kind of like me dealing with this imposter syndrome. So one of the big reasons why I have been focusing on those positive thoughts and that positive affirmation of just recording, just editing, and just hitting publish leading up to my trip to London is because I was actually here 1 year ago and I had all of these big ideas and aspirations that I'm going to record a whole heap of videos, and I actually put them in my Notion board where I would do my video planning from like research, scripting, filming, editing, and publishing. And I had a list of videos that I wanted to make, like, for example, it's like the 5 content creation travel tips that I have for other creatives. It's the 5, pieces of gear that are essential to me and my creative workflow for when I travel. And I wanted to make short form videos as well as long form videos out of all of these ideas that I had. And I just never did it. I just never recorded all of the videos because of the exact thing that I said at the beginning of the video where I'm trying to film stuff in this room. I stayed at exactly the same hotel and I just was not happy with how things were looking. I wasn't happy with how things are going. And I got inside my own head too much about it, which I never ended up making anything because of those negative self-thoughts and self-talk that I was actually putting myself through. And I kept them in my Notion board because I just look at it and it's just that reminder and it just start eating up at me and I just have that regret. So now that I'm here a year later and they're still in my board, I am even more determined to just film it no matter how bad I think the set looks, no matter how things are just not perfect. I just want to record the videos. And this is why I'm also then recording this video as this sort of starting point and this turning point to just taking one step forward into just kicking imposter syndrome in the ass and just doing the thing and just hitting record. But I've just hit a point where I'm tired of feeling like everything that I do and everything that I create is just not good enough, and it's not good enough to post, and it's not good enough just to even live in my photo gallery on my phone. And I'm just tired of every idea just being either stuck in my notes or just stuck in my Notion board, and the board just builds out with no sort of action on the ideation of what I'm actually creating. I'm really tired of just overthinking everything, every idea, every word, every shot, every angle. I'm just really burnt out from just overthinking all of that. I'm sick and tired of just not posting photos that I just think are really awesome, but I just have this thought in the back of my mind that it's just crap. And I'm just so tired of imposter syndrome just holding me back from living up to my full potential that I know I have and living up to the things that I want to be able to create. I've really had to do a lot of reflection with myself. I've really had to sort of dive deep into other creatives who have been there and done that and have found ways to manage imposter syndrome and overcome it. And I just have to, understand that the truth is and accept that the truth is that nothing is ever going to be perfect and nothing is ever going to be exactly the way that I want it. And that's okay. because the only way out of imposter syndrome and to defeat imposter syndrome is just through consistent action. So as of today, October 24th, 2025, as I'm sitting in my very messy sea container hotel room on my very messy bed that does not look perfect with noise happening outside, I am deciding to stop feeling ready, and I'm just gonna hit record, film things, edit it, and I'm just gonna publish it. And this is also the start of me rewiring my thinking, and instead of asking, is this actually going to be perfect? I'm more or less thinking, is what I'm creating right now an accurate representation of where I'm at right now? So for me, growth isn't about always just showing things that are perfect. Growth to me, which is something that I always really strive to do in my business, creative, and personal life, is not showing perfect. It's actually showing the process behind it all. So that is it for this video. I know it's been a bit of a rant, but that is just a bit of an update on where I am right now. And this will be the first video that I post to YouTube in a very, very long time. And I'm hoping, and my goal is that it won't be the last video I post for a very, very long time. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. I really hope that if you have watched this and you are struggling with imposter syndrome, that this might help you in reframing your mindset and your relationship with imposter syndrome, and maybe just give you a few actionable tips or mindset ideas to help you on your journey in overcoming imposter syndrome as well. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the very next video that I post very soon.